Hello! It's time for another makeup tutorial, obviously. You know, for everyone who read the title of this video. Yeah. Anyways, basically I wanted to do a more extreme look today. And yeah, yesterday I painted my nails for the nail art tutorial that I'll post on Friday. And I mainly used red, orange and yellow. So I figured why not smear those colors onto my face as well. Yeah, basically I just really wanted to be springtime, so I wanted to use springtime appropriate colors, but still with a little bit of black because it's still winter and I didn't want it to be too bright yet, I guess. Yeah, let's just get started. So I started out with the Maybelline Baby Skin pore refiner today. And yeah, basically I just applied it anywhere where I want my pores to be less small or where I want to stay matte, because I do have a feeling it also works for that. And the foundation I use is the Yves Rocher Defaut foundation, and yeah. Basically when I use this foundation I don't actually bother to use any sort of moisturizer because it is very moisturizing and I have oily skin. So, you know, we all sort of normal to oily skin, I guess, mixed skin maybe. Point is, yeah, it's gonna get way oily if I use moisturizer underneath it, but I do like the coverage, yeah. And this is how it looks on my skin. And yeah, for concealer I use the Match Perfection Concealer by Rimmel, which I actually reviewed last Monday, I think, if I'm right. And yeah, basically it's a concealer, again with basically, huh? Point is, this is a concealer I actually really like. The only downside is I can only use it when I'm either fake tanned or when it's summer, because, well, you know, it looks pretty pale on camera now because, you know, I'm fake tanned at this point in time. But yeah, it's actually darker than my natural skin tone in winter, so yeah, they don't sell it in any paler shades in the Netherlands, unfortunately. But for now I just use it for highlighting and also to conceal underneath my eyes. For powder I use the Catrice Nude Illusion powder as usual. And also as usual just use the more dense brush to set it underneath my eyes and on my eyelids and basically anywhere where I get oily the earliest, or where, you know, stuff might crease. And then I just did the rest of my face with a large powder brush just to set all the foundation in place. And then it was time for contouring. And yeah, lately I've just been using this palette instead of the NYX Jumbo, no wait, Big Bold Bronzing Powder by NYX Color, yeah. Used to use that, but this one is just more cool toned, I guess, less orange, which does make it better, probably because it's an actual contour powder rather than a bronzer, so yeah. And yeah, I've basically put the most focus on my cheekbones as usually. But I also put it on my nose and on my forehead and on my jawline. I want to do a more extreme look this time, so I want my face to look more carved out when I do a more extreme look. And yeah, then it's time for the eyes, and I started out with the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Crème de Rose. As usual, just list everything I use down below, by the way. But yeah, just use it on my entire eyelid to have sort of a base for the colors to stick on, which I then made completely pointless by also adding NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk. By the way, if it sounds as if I'm sort of rambling and not sure what I'm going to say, that's at any point in time, that's because I'm actually recording this voiceover at 11:30 at night, but yeah. Anyways, I'm just using a tissue to make a sharp edge at the crease. And just dabbing on the pencil, and yeah, once the edge is there, it's just, you know, easier to just let go of the tissue and just do the rest freehanded. I did try to blend it a little bit on top when it goes to my eyebrow, just because, you know, it looks better. Then I use the sleek IDivine Ultra Matte Volume 1 palette, which is basically still my favorite palette when I do matte looks with, you know, a lot of bright colors, because that's basically what it's meant for. And first I just used the white shades to really brighten up the eyelid. And then onto the crease. I started out with orange in the middle and I tried to sort of do a cut crease. It doesn't have to be completely sharp at this point because we're going to add black later anyways. But it's easier if there's no, you know, not a lot of color you need to clean up later. And then I moved on to yellow in the inner corner, just with the same brush, because, I don't know, if I use a smaller brush it just usually gets too subtle and I didn't want it to be subtle. So I just kept using the same brush and of course also blended it in with the orange, as you can see here. And then I realized this palette doesn't actually have a red shade, unfortunately. That's like the only downside of it. So I grabbed this one by Peggy Sage, which is actually a blush, but it just, you know, works nicely as an eyeshadow as well. And I just put the tissue paper back in place and then just put the red there, obviously. And again blended it with the orange. Then it's time for gel eyeliner. I use this waterproof one by IsaDora. I use gel eyeliner, by the way, because it just stays in place immediately, at least this one does. And that's pretty important in the crease because I didn't want it to stain everywhere. And yeah, with that I just really define the cut crease and then just also make sort of a winged eyeliner crease thing with it, as you can see here. Not sure what to call it. winged crease liner or something. Yeah. So I just made that and just filled it in. And really take your time when doing this, because this is basically the part that's easiest to screw up in my experience. Then I used the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette and the black shade, which actually has soft red shimmers in it, which I think suits the look. And I just put it on a small angled brush to really define the crease a little bit more. Yep. Just started out defining the actual black line. And then I went on with a small round brush over here. Yep. And just sort of, you know, made the crease a little bit darker. I did want to like make it lift the eye a little bit more and just make the black stand out a little bit more, because the line itself was pretty much not obvious when I opened my eye. And yeah, I'm only showing you 10 seconds of blending, but trust me, blending took a long time to look anything good, so yeah. Then I used the palest shade from the Urban Decay palette and just put that on top of the white, just to cover up any sort of fallout from the colors. And I also used it to highlight my eyebrow, but I forgot to film that, so yeah, I'll just tell you like this. Then I use a smaller brush, as you can see here, to put more black in the crease, and really be careful with the inner corner, because it's really difficult to fix any mistakes with, you know, literal black on white. I mean, you know, sharp contrast and everything. Really hard to fix, so be careful there. Then I use a small brush to sort of blend it out, and a pencil brush for the inner corner, again because I didn't want to make any mistakes there. And then it was time for the liquid liner. I wanted the liner on my actual eyelid, like the actual winged eyeliner, to be darker than the one in the crease. So I used the liquid ink by Essence for that, because it's just completely black. And this time I actually sort of succeeded in making a thin winged eyeliner. It's usually when I try to make a thin winged eyeliner, it turns into a huge, thick winged eyeliner for some reason, because I can never get it even. But surprisingly enough, this time it actually worked. And yeah, just try to make the line a bit even with the cut crease thing. Yeah. Then I used the shimmery eyeshadow from the Urban Decay palette just to highlight it a little bit. I don't think it shows off all that much on camera, but you know, it was more obvious in real life. And then I just applied the same colors I did on my upper eyelid, also below my lower lashes. Starting with red this time, and then just a little bit orange, and then in the inner corner I added a little bit of yellow. And then I decided to also drag the red onto the winged liner a little bit, as you can see here. And then it was time for more eyeliner, this time a pencil eyeliner. This one is by Estée Lauder Pure Color kajal pencil in Blackened Black, and I did both my upper and lower waterline with it. I didn't smudge it out or anything, I just really wanted to, you know, a bit of a neat line this time. And then I decided I did want my inner corner to be filled up as well, so I used the IsaDora gel eyeliner for that. Just because it doesn't smudge there, so yeah, easier to work with. And then for mascara I used the Scandaleyes Retro Glam by Rimmel, which I actually used to completely dislike, because, you know, it sort of turned a bit, yeah, weird I guess if I applied too much of it. But when applied carefully it actually looked really nice, and lately it's actually been one of my favorites. And for my eyebrows I used the NYX Tame and Frame eyebrow pomade. And yeah, just basically filled in my eyebrows. Everyone has their own way of doing it, so I prefer to not, you know, spend a whole lot of time every single tutorial on it, because I do it the same way every time, so I think it would get boring pretty quickly. But yeah, I just fill them in and then just comb them in place, and that's pretty much it for my eyebrows. And then for blush I also wanted to go for orange, because I didn't have enough red and orange shades on my face yet, obviously. So I used the Essence Blusher Blush in Heatwave, specifically the orange side of it. And I didn't apply a whole lot of it, just enough to have it to be a little bit visible. But yeah, I didn't want to do it over the top, because the eyes are already pretty much easy to notice. And then I used the highlighter from the Makeup Revolution palette and just applied it on my cheekbones, only on my cheekbones this time. And for my lips I started out with a red lip pencil by Yves Rocher. This was actually my first time using it, and I really like it. It's really creamy, really easy to work with. And yeah, so I just obviously lined my lips with it, which always takes a time, trust me. I just cut most of it from the video, but this basically took me almost as long as it did the eyes. Anyways, then I just smudged it out a little bit, because the lipstick I'm going to use is slightly paler than the liner, and I didn't want a hard line to be there. And the lipstick I used is this one by Rimmel, a moisture renewal lipstick called In Love with Ginger. It's really orange on camera, it's slightly less orange in real life. But yeah, it's basically one of my favorite lipstick shades ever. And obviously I applied it to my lips, and that's pretty much the last step of this tutorial. So this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye! I obviously cut most of it out of the video, but I was like blending for a good 5 minutes because, yeah, it's pencil on pencil and yeah, it takes some time.